Okay, we will jump back into our game. Cool. I believe that we were going to end our turn. Is that right? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. How did you get to 700? You were definitely not at 700 when I last checked. um, so this is what I mean by the kernel difficulty being quite quite a bit more difficult. Um, the Confederate quickly outpaces us in the early game, and we're gonna have to just hold fast and defend. Um, wow, 700 power, combat power. That's incredible. So what I think I did not note, and it's probably because uh, this box here. Can I remove that? Is that something? No animation. Focus on move. Is that here? Error logging. Memory. Winter map textualized. No. Winter map. How do I don't know how to turn that off. Okay, yeah, I don't know how to turn this thing off. Okay, I mean that's fine. We will just jump back in. So when McDowell spawned in up in DC or Alexandria, he spawned in as again a 3-star general here. Again, I believe that's a lieutenant general at the time of the Civil War. Maybe it is the case now. I don't know. But he formed up as an army unit, right? And that's different from, let's say, these two stacks here, which are sort of on an island of their own. They don't have a chain of command at the moment. They don't even have generals supporting them, and so their combat power is quite limited. And I don't even know why. I should just combine these here, throw them into McDowell's army. But essentially, he formed as an army, and you can see here that is denoted by a star above the tab of the stack. And you can see as well the armies are listed up here in the top left. So you've got McDowell under control of the Northeastern Virginia Army. I wonder if I can rename that. Can I rename this army? Because that is a terrible name. Hello. Hello. No, I locked it. Nope. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Over time, I believe I will be able to form other armies. So let's see if Milroy can. So Milroy can't because you need a 3-star. You need a general that has at least 3 stars to form an army. Okay, that's good to know. So at the moment we only have 3 stars. McDowell here, Scott here in DC. Although I can't create an army with him because he is inactive, right? This sort of note, this red band notes that he's inactive, so I can't take any action except for I guess these 2 or 3 rather. But I can't give him any special orders to organize his army or promote generals, nor can I make any special orders to relating to buildings and structures. The third third lieutenant general that I have is Banks, and so if he has a bit more available to him. But if you see here, if I click on this tent icon here, it says this sort of is clickable, right? It says that I can form an army. Nathaniel Banks has the most seniority among all generals. Placing him in command of a new army is in accordance with the proper chain of command. Is that right? He has a seniority of 7. McDowell has a seniority of 9. And, well, yeah, and Scott has a seniority of 1. I mean, so he's not the most senior, but he's the most senior in this stack. And he's the only person in that stack. So that makes logical sense. He is the most senior of this stack, but he is also the only unit in this stack. So if we were to press this button, he would then have a star, right? In the same way that McDowell has a star here. And then his portrait would pop up on the top left here and say that he's in command of an army. That army might be named the Army of the Potomac, for example. I don't know, just example's sake. I won't do this because, again, as I said before, he is much better away from field command. I would prefer him to stay in Baltimore and increase the rate in which we recruit conscripts. So I don't want him to have a command of an army because in the beginning of the game, I think that we have a limit of 3 armies available to the Union, and then as the game progresses, it becomes 6 and then 9. And I want to be able to have flexibility for some commanders out here in the West to form armies, and not have that spot taken up by Banks while he's just chilling here in Baltimore. So you might ask, like, what's so important about having an army, and what's the difference between having an army and this garrison unit that's just out here without a chain of command? The important piece is that having an army creates, again, a structure of command, right? There's clearly a person in charge. That person is McDowell. He's got some subordinates that provide some support to him, right? Again, chief of staff or aide de camp or a quartermaster, things like that, right? And they all support his McDowell's command, right? And by doing so, they have and there's a card here on the bottom right of the screen that sort of is a quick overview of some really important information about the army that you've selected, right? So it has a value of 222. The command points here, as you can see, it provides 16, but it requires 37, and so because there's such a disparity, there's a penalty of 35%, and all penalties in all armies and stacks are limited to 35, right? And then this is supplies, so we are at 100% supply fully supplied, as well as ammunition. The hide value is 1, which means that the lower the hide value is, the more detectable your army is to the enemy. This is the detection value of the army itself, so it can see 5. It has a value rather of 5 to detect armies inland, and a detection value of 3 for navies at sea. This is the entrenchment value. This is at 1. I believe that over time, as we continue to sit here in Alexandria, they will slowly further entrench. Okay, yeah. So it will take additional 15 days to reach the next level, provided the maximum entrenchment level of 3 is not reached. So there are 3 entrenchment levels. We are currently at the 1, which is denoted by these earthworks around the unit card on the strategic map. Beauregard has it as well. Hamilton's force has it as well. This is level 2, if my memory is right. Let me just... Yeah. Oh, that's number 3. Level 3. Okay. So this Alexandria unit, because it has been here for so long, since the beginning of the game, has had that time to entrench. And so it's a level 3 entrenchment. It is denoted by these earthworks, but also the sandbags, or what looks like sandbags, on top of the earthworks. Okay, so then let's go back and click on McDowell's army, and this refers to, thanks to its nobility, the force can penetrate any neighboring region. This refers to as zones of control. I am altogether less familiar with this mechanic because I generally have armies that are big enough that we can penetrate, into enemy territory. The question is whether or not we'll win battles if there are any enemy forces opposing us as we move. Okay, so again, this is the command value. I will be referencing this a lot as I organize my armies. The other method to look at that is by hovering over the army, and there's a tooltip that pops up that describes the provided value, command value, and the required command value and the penalty related to that. But this is probably the easier tooltip to look at as a sort of quick reference of like, okay, what do I have and what do I need and what needs to change? Okay. What was I gonna do? Oh gosh. Okay. Yes. Oh, this is kind of a gamey thing, and I'll show you real quick. And hopefully it works, right? So we have one stack here that has a entrenchment value of 3. The other two have an entrenchment value of 1, right? And you would think that the only way to get these two to 3 entrenchment is to just allow time to pass. But there's a thing you can do, which is that you move units to the stack that has a greater entrenchment value. So let me try that. I'm going to move this Washington Brigade that has an entrenchment value of 1, and I'm going to move them to this garrison unit that has an entrenchment value of 3, and let's see what happens. Okay, we've done that. So now the what I like to think has happened, right, is that these guys from the Washington Brigade have joined up with these guys on the state militia for Maryland, the Alexandria garrison, and they've joined their trenches, right? These guys have dug up trenches all across the countryside, and they've just joined them there, right? And I think, and I'm going to try this, I am going to move the entire army to this garrison so that they all get that level 3 entrenchment value. And that's different for if we move this garrison unit and we join them with the Northeastern Army. That entrenchment value of 3 would be lost if we did that. Instead, I'm going to move them into their trenches. Yes, okay, great. So now the entire Northeastern Army has an entrenchment value of 3. I will also do this with Hamilton's detachment. And so again, now every unit in Alexandria has an entrenchment value of 3. And I'll show you real quick. I will detach a bunch of guys from this place. Let's get some arty. Okay, we will hold and release out. Now they both have an entrenchment value of 3, right? So whereas before we had an entrenchment value of 1, through a kind of gamey way, we've increased our entrenchment value of into 3. And so both of these armies that are significantly stronger than the garrison unit that was here before now have an entrenchment value of 3. And so if Beauregard decides to attack, we have a little bit more defensive value to repel that attack. I'm going to just transfer some more folks over now because these guys are way overloaded in Hamilton's command. I'll send them to McDowell. Great. So maybe it's a little... I guess I could do a little more. First, let me bring some supplies over. We don't need to sort of pay attention to the supply trains all that much right now because we are just so close to our supply base, which is there's a depot in Alexandria and in DC, and so and Baltimore, and so all of these supplies from up north are being pushed down to where they're needed in our armies, and they're being collected in these depots, and they're right on them. So we don't really need to worry about these supply trains at the moment. It's when we move out, right, and we, for example, move to Culpeper or Fredericksburg, that's when we need to start thinking about these supply trains and making sure that we either have these supply trains in our armies or we build depots as we travel south. Okay, let me transfer you all back Let's see if that evens out a little more. Okay, so that's about 600 combat power. Let me see if I do one more. What will happen? Will we have a net positive? Let's find out. That didn't really do much. Let me move you back. Okay, yeah, okay. That is fine. We are moving more people into Alexandria, more people into Harper's Ferry. I really hope that Joe Johnston's army does not have a lot of combat power because that is scary. Gosh, okay, Floyd's army also went up. So I think maybe when I reloaded the game this morning, the values, the computer reset, right? And it was able to sort of newly calculate the values of these armies. And so, whereas this was like maybe 150 before, right? I think it was 150. It's now 760. And this was around 100, maybe 90, like sort of, close to this value here. And now it's at, doubled to 180. Scary stuff. Kernel difficulty is very scary. Okay. I'll just combine these guys. All right. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything else that I can do. I've read all these messages. These are old messages. Yeah. Okay. Let me just make sure I have these units attack. Okay, let me join up with, I will combine y'all there. Okay, so that there's not sort of like just one ship exposed. What else? Have you? No, you have not got your ship yet. That's fine. And I'm continuing to move these cavalry units up. Okay, so this first unit, the 2nd Texas, took the sort of plains route, I guess, through middle Oklahoma. But these guys went through East Texas and then are traveling, I guess, continuing to travel up through East Texas. And the terrain is a little more inhospitable, and it's taking them a little longer to move up. And as you can see here, they're at a supply value of 50% now. And I believe that when they get to 0 supplies, their manpower and cohesion begins to significantly drop. And even to the point where like they will not be able to make any movement. And if they can move, it'll be very slow. So that's pretty dangerous. So hopefully they can make it back up to Fort Gibson and Benson before they lose supply. Because there is supply here. Let's just make sure. Yeah, there is 1 unit of supply, a unit of supply there. Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's anything else I can do. I've spent all of my conscripts. Yeah, there's nothing. I can't recruit. I don't think I have anything to do with these decisions. Maybe I can draft people so I can get more conscripts. Let's do that. It'll cost 15 victory points and 10 loyalty. But there are regions up here in the north that have like 100, near 100 loyalty. Like here in Berkshire, Massachusetts, have a 97 value. So let me see if I can select a draft. Oh, okay. So only level 3 or bigger cities is where I can do that. So okay, that's fine. You all have 82 in Rockland. Where is it? Jersey City. Okay, and you've got a shipyard. I would prefer to do that in a place that doesn't have a lot of factories, because the cost again is the cost of loyalty and victory points, and I don't want the loyalty of these cities to go down because they directly impact the industrial output of those places. So maybe I do York, PA. York only has farm fields. Actually, that farm fields are important, aren't they? Because they create supplies. Right? These farms, these Pennsylvania farm fields, generate supplies for us. Let me maybe do Jersey City. Right? It's a strategic town. There's a harbor and there's a shipyard, but I'm not using the shipyard at the moment. So let me do that. I will institute a draft in Jersey City. Is there any other way I can create more folks? Okay, it is just the draft. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. So hopefully that's successful, and we get more conscripts next turn. I think I will end my turn. I don't have anything else going on. Right? Yeah, you can't move for another turn. Another 3 turns. I think that once these guys, are unlocked and become active, I think I'll move them to West Virginia. Because this is sort of the most immediate threat. I know that I plan to move Patterson's command. Oh, he's also a 3-star. Interesting. But he sucks. You suck. 100 value. Wow. Who are you? Who are you? Okay. I do plan to move these guys out here. Maybe create an army so that we can have more command value. So you can see here that because he is not formed up into an army, he only provides a command value of 5, right? And actually, because he's overly cautious, he has even less command points. So you can see here that this leader is extremely cautious and will often act slowly if not in friendly territory, -1 command modifier to a stack, and he will be inactive if he rolls a percent dice higher than current military control. Okay, got it. Yeah, terrible. Not fit for command, I don't think. But again, we are sort of, as a union in 61, not endowed greatly with many competent generals, right? Okay. So yes, I think that once the folks in Cincinnati are able to move, I will move them over to West Virginia to defend. West Virginia is not the most important region. It's important to prevent the enemy from taking it because they will then have access to Ohio and Pennsylvania, and very quickly be able to cut off the eastern states from these midwestern and western states. That would make our position quite dangerous, in the same way that the Union is attempting to cut the eastern and western Confederate states, right, along the Mississippi. So that would be incredibly dangerous for us if we lose West Virginia. And so I would prefer to put up defenses along West Virginia because it is a relatively defensible area. You've got rivers, you've got mountains and hills. And so if you're on the defense in West Virginia, you have a greater chance of success. Whereas when you break out into Ohio, the Ohio River valleys and Pennsylvania, not mid Pennsylvania has a lot of mountains as well, but sort of western Pennsylvania, it is just rolling hills, and you've got nearly no defensive terrain, good defensible terrain that you can use to your advantage. So I would prefer to keep and hold Confederate armies in West Virginia. I don't want to push them out of it. I think that having them attrit in West Virginia is a good way to whittle the power of the Confederates down. But I don't want to sort of expel them, for example, and then start moving into Covington or Christiansburg or Whitesville. That would call for too many resources from the Union to be able to do that. I can sort of do more with less when I stay in West Virginia and just defend, and sort of play a game of cat and mouse with the Confederate forces here. Okay, I don't think there's anything else. It is a little daunting, but I will hit end turn. Super daunting, a little scary. Beauregard, you're a little scary. Johnston, I don't know what's going on here, but you are also a little scary. and hopefully these guys that I've recruited form up and do form up in time for them to support our guys in the front. All right, let's. Oh God, that is really daunting. But there's nothing else we can do, so let's just do it. Okay. Oh, where'd he go? Did he go inside Manassas structure? What's happening? Okay, now we're processing the turn. We're all moving. And Beauregard did not attack. We live to fight another day. Oh, wow, okay. And you see that now that we have more recruits and our cohesion is going up in McDowell's army, the combat power went up from, I think it was 400 something to now 620. But of course, oh yeah, okay. So Beauregard went into Manassas, and so he is inside the structure. I can't see him on this map, but he's denoted by this 2 here. If we hover over Manassas, because we are close enough, right, and we have a high enough detection value, we can see inside, and we can see that there's a guard unit, and there's also the Army of the Potomac that has 14 units and a power of 746, which is quite comparable to what we have. So I am less scared now about Beauregard coming in and attacking and us losing Alexandria. Losing Alexandria isn't going to be the worst thing in the world. Ideally, we would not lose it. But if we do, we can retreat behind the Potomac River here and create a defensive line along the Potomac to prevent any incursions, right? It's better said than done kind of thing. But yeah. Okay, let's start out again west. I like to start out here because the decision trees are a lot less forgiving. These 2 units now are active. Oh, let me read messages. Yeah, let's read messages. Okay. Ellsworth's death. All right. So Colonel Elmer Ellsworth was the flamboyant and popular commander of the 11th New York Fire Zouaves Regiment. He was also a close family friend of Lincoln. On May 24th, Union forces crossed the Potomac and captured Alexandria, Virginia. Ellsworth decided to capture a large, prominent Confederate flag flying above a hotel. Descending from the roof with the flag, Ellsworth was ambushed and killed by the hotel owner, James W. Jackson. Jackson was then subsequently killed by Ellsworth troops. Instantly, the North and the South had their first martyrs. Ellsworth's body lay in state in the East Room of the White House. The next man to be honored would be Lincoln himself in 1865. We will avenge Ellsworth. Okay. So I guess that happened in Alexandria. Beautiful town, by the way. I used to live in D.C. for some time and would, do stuff in Alexandria, and it's a beautiful old town. Okay. Okay, yep. So Ellsworth's stuff is here. Huge. There's a huge stock of steel left untouched, and so the Secretary of War has canceled a few contracts. What does that mean again? Okay, so we have a surplus of steel here, and when we have a surplus, contracts are canceled. What does that do? I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe we use. No, I don't know. Okay, we'll figure it out later. There are new industrial options available to us. Brigadier General Mansfield is waiting new command, and U.S. forces start to organize near the border. Yes, the border. Not the southern border, the Virginia border. Right? Let's see where. Yeah, Prince George's County, Maryland. They are here under Brigadier General C.P. Stone. What is your name? C.P. Stone. Can I see? No description. That's fine. That is fine. So we've got Stone's command. You've got the 1st Maryland Brigade, the 1st Maryland Volunteers, and Stone's Brigade. That looks to be a cavalry unit. And then what else we have? We do not have anything else. What did they say? Where's Mansfield? Let's click on him. He's in Allegheny. Okay. So he's spawned in with Patterson. Okay, and you can see here that now that Patterson is active, right? We can form an army with him. And it says here that Patterson is less senior rather than other unassigned generals. If we do this, Nathaniel Banks, located in Baltimore, expects to receive command of the next available army. Naming Patterson to the command instead will cost you 2 morale points and 18 victory points. We do not want to lose morale. Morale is incredibly important to winning battles. So what this is saying is that Patterson has a seniority level of 32. Banks is much more senior to him. He has a seniority level of 7. And this is, historically accurate. Back in the Civil War time, for example, the way that your seniority was determined was the date of your promotion, right? So if you were promoted, if Banks was promoted in 18, let's say 55, right? And Patterson was promoted, let's say in 1860. Banks was a lieutenant general for 5 years, right, and has a bunch more seniority than Patterson, and so Banks would expect, by the rules of this time, that he would receive the next command, the next general command, and not Patterson, and that if we what's the word? If we surpassed, if we overlooked, if we skipped, let's say, Banks and went directly to Patterson, Banks would feel some type of way about that. He would say that, I've done my dues. I've been lieutenant general for 5 years, now going on 6. There is a war, right? I am better, right? I have a value of 201. Patterson has a value of 100. He is crap. So why are you giving him command? And so the impact, if I do give Patterson command of an army, is that we will lose 2 national morale, and we will lose 18 victory points. And I also think that Banks gets upset, right? Is that a thing I remember correctly? You have experience, politics, hits, cohesion. Do I remember that there's like a value of like how they feel? Maybe not. Maybe not. Mobility, combat. Yeah, okay. I lied. Maybe not. Okay. But either way, his being overlooked would mean that we would lose morale and victory points. And I want to avoid. I can lose victory points. I don't care for that, because we will not be winning on victory points. We will be winning by making the South submit. But we definitely don't want to lose morale. Morale is integral to a fighting force's ability to effectively fight. Okay, so Mansfield spawned in with Patterson. I'm gonna just have them join up, and I will have them both move to Morgantown to defend against any incursions by Floyd. Marching there will take 37 days. Instead, I will move them by rail. That'll take them 3 days. And I'm doing that, I can sort of select that here, right? But there's the shortcut is Shift R, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm pressing Shift R. And so they're getting there in 3 days, which is good. So I've got some more. Oh, wow. There are more guys that have spawned in here, right? These guys were not here before. It was just this unit, the West Virginia Reaction Force. Now there is a West Virginia command with more cavalry and more infantry. Good. I will combine y'all so you can more effectively fight as a fighting force. Okay. I think that these guys will make it here in 3 days. So they will make it there in 3 days, rather. And so even if Floyd moves to attack, I think that because he's moving across a river and he's moving from the hills, right? You can see that the geography here is hills. Is it geography or is it demography? I think it's geography. Oh, whatever. He's in the hills right now in Clarksburg, but the Morgantown is mountainous, right? So movement is limited there, and so I think that he'll take. If he attacks Morgantown, it'll take him more than 3 days to arrive, I think. All right, so we're good there. Yeah, again, we've taken care of the folks in California. Let me just go over that again. Oh no, we haven't taken care of them. Okay, so we've got a cavalry unit here. Oh, okay, we've got more people. Hey, why are you not telling me that we have more people? I've not read these messages yet. These are all movement messages. There's 90 of them. I'll just quickly scroll down to see if I see anything important. Oh, okay, so there are a bunch of folks active all across the country now. Tons of folks active. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Great. Everybody knows we're at war. And everybody's itching to fight. Okay. All right. Yeah, tons of folks active. That is great. Active, again, being the ability for us to move them. Replacement and new units. So the 1st Illinois has been successfully trained by McClellan. Thank you. Thank you, McClellan. So we've got, one. Why did you not train 2? Interesting. I don't know why that happened. You were supposed to train the 1st Illinois and the 4th Ohio, but that did not happen. And I don't know why. Okay, I mean, that's fine. That's still okay. So these guys in in Madison, Indiana, you cannot move down to join up with McClellan. Wow, we've got a bunch of folks here now. Cool. Great. What else? We have the 1st Brigade has received the 2nd Maryland Gordon's Regulars. Where are y'all? In Fairfax, Virginia. Yes. So if y'all recall, there were some units here. Here. So there's some units here that are missing a PIP, missing a brevet, right? And so over time, with replacements coming in, they will fill in, and that is what this message is referring to. That there is a 1st Brigade that has received a brevet, a unit. So let's find them. The first, no, that's the V. We're looking for a Roman numeral 1 and 1st, 4th, 2nd, and Fairfax. Maybe they're in Hamilton's. 1st and 3rd, 1st and 1st. Okay, yeah, you guys. So let's look. Can we click on you? Can I click on you? Okay, I can't. I guess I can't because you're inactive. I cannot see what's in you. Okay, that's okay. I mean, he's got 2 missing regiments here. So over time, again, they will fill out. Our units in the field receive a total of 1 replacement. Their training is complete in Cincinnati. Huh. So training is complete. What happened? Because you're not full infantry. The training of French's brigade is nearly finished. Oh, okay, sorry. Training refers to the sort of initial marshaling of troops, right? So if you look here, like we recruited all of these units here. They're currently being trained, right? And marshaled. Their manpower is going up. And so that's what that's saying, is that these guys that I recruited in New York City and Cincinnati are being marshaled up, which is different from the training that McClellan can do. So yeah, all of these guys are being trained up. Great. Let's note next. Okay, so the South has recaptured Tyler, and they've captured Fort Stanton in New Mexico. Huh. Okay, I mean that's fine. I mean, yeah, that's fine. You can try and attack us in Fort Craig. You will not be successful, especially, I mean, not with these regulars. Okay, so we have taken Tahlequah, which is good. That's in modern-day Oklahoma. And we've also taken Fort Townsend. Let's go see. Great. So they are trying to take back Pleasant, Texas. They've taken Tyler with an artillery unit. Interesting choice. And we are continuing to move up along here, right? And as you can see here, we're down to 0 supplies, all right? So it is getting a little dicey. I'm going to make y'all retreat, if attacked. Because you cannot... Oh, wow. You've got some rifles here. 4 units here protecting Inglewood. Maybe I tell you to go around. How about that? Yeah. Let's go that. Yeah, that's better. Are there supplies here? There's 1 supply here. So you can supply up while you're in Atoka. And then you can go to Muskogee, where there are more supplies. Okay. Oh, wow. Price. Sterling price, you've got a pretty big army. And it would make better sense for you to come and attack St. Louis, because I've got nearly nothing there. Or you can raid out here, and you're welcome to do that. I've got nothing strategically important here. So that is country that you can just take, if you wish. I'll continue to move y'all up. You can take Fort Wayne, and continue to move up and rendezvous with these guys here, the 3rd Cavalry. The 2nd Cavalry. Okay, let me just go back here, make sure I don't miss anything. Confederate seems to be behind demonstrations in St. Louis. Y'all are really trying to make these guys unloyal. 17 loyalty, Jesus. You know, I don't really know what happens. Huh. If my memory is right, if we don't have troops in a region that has loyalty to the Confederacy, I will slowly lose military control. I think my memory is that, you know, at the moment we have 100% military control over the region of St. Louis, but that's because we have troops here, right? Oh, Lion, you can move now. Cool, great. But if we move these guys out, right, and we don't have anybody stationed in St. Louis, because the Confederates have a higher loyalty level, I will slowly lose military control, which is bad, right? Military control refers to your ability to move armies effectively. If we do not have military control over a region, we move slower, right? So I mean, it makes sense. Like if we're moving through Confederate territory, we do it at a much slower pace than if we were, you know, moving out in Michigan or Illinois. Okay. I mean, you could continue to do that. One way, I believe, to raise loyalty, of course, is to, you know, have your, suspend habeas, right? But not all places, it's not available in all places. The other way, I believe, is to just station troops there. And over time, the loyalty to the Union will increase. I did see that I have a decision to make here. What happened? Okay, there's still habeas going on here and in Wilmington. Where else should I do that? Again, I want a place where there's a lot of factories and loyalty is at the cusp of 80. What about Pittsburgh? Where is Pittsburgh? Allegheny. Pittsburgh, you are super loyal. You are good. Super loyal. Tons of factories. Another reason why I want to prevent these guys in West Virginia to move up, because Pittsburgh is a huge industrial center at the time, and I don't want to lose it. And you're super loyal. That's great. Where else are there factories? I'm looking for these sort of factory symbols here. I'm not going to do it in Harper's Ferry because, you know, of course, you know, they're only at 44% loyalty, but also I don't know that I will hold this for long, and so I would just waste. I would waste victory points if I did that. What about Baltimore? Baltimore, I mean, you've got loyalty of 42, DC 42. Where else are there factories? Out west? Yeah, you've got Franklin's got some, and you've got a loyalty of 63. I think that makes sense to do it in Franklin. Where else? Yeah. No more factories up here. No factories. All right, yeah, Franklin it is. Suspending habeas in Franklin. So hopefully that'll be successful, and we will bring your loyalty up to over 80, and increase your production of your industrial output. Great. What else? We've got a ton more units now that are available for us to use, and I think that we will use them. How, the question now is, how do I go about organizing myself, right? Where do I start? I've got these Navy units here that I can move. These guys are not up to full strength yet, so I will leave them there. But these guys, oh no, not you, y'all can start moving. Let's get y'all down somewhere. What about this New York unit? Yeah, you can move now too, and you're huge. So everybody here can move except for this squadron. I'm gonna just make sure that you are docked again, and you can get your supplies up, or rather have your other ships join you. And then I will move Farragut's fleet, the Atlantic fleet. I mean, should I do it Hampton Road? I can. You've got transports. I can do that. Yeah, so let's do that. The other important thing about transports is that they hold the supplies for the Navy, right? So the Navy, in a similar way as Army units, they have manpower, they have cohesion, and they have supplies. And supplies are, when you're out at sea, they're not on each ship. They are they're being held by these transports, right? So I'm going to detach all but one transport. I'm going to send these transports to our shipping lanes because I want more income. And have them join these merchants. Y'all didn't attack. Probably because you couldn't find them. It is a big ocean out there. And then the other portion of the fleet with scouts and transport unit, you will go down to Hampton Road, and you will blockade. You will serve as a blockading force and also a collecting point, right? If I want to move up the Chesapeake, right, I can do that. If I want to move down the Atlantic, I can do that, all from Fort Monroe and Hampton Roads. I think that I'm going to lose Norfolk quite quickly unless I move people there. And I don't think that I want to move people there. It's just so indefensible. Right? Okay. Moving those guys down. These folks down in Massachusetts, let's also move you down to Fort Monroe. And because you've got 2 extra transports, I'll move those transports down to these shipping lanes to join up with these merchant vessels. Are there other naval units up here? Does not look like it. I'm looking for these blue squares next to ports. New York is taken care of. Yeah. Annapolis, you still cannot move yet. These transports cannot move. Okay. Okay. You are blockading. Yeah, so you see here that there is a huge blockading flotilla along the Atlantic coast, and they're being supplied by this one transport ship. And once the transport supplies are nearly depleted, I will move this unit out and rotate them back to a port, let's say, Annapolis or DC or Baltimore. And I will move an extra transport that's on standby out with a fresh set of supplies down to the blockade, so that so I don't have to move the entire fleet back. I can just move the transports back, and these main blockading ships can stay here to maintain the blockade. Okay, good. You know, Palmer, it's good that you're out here, but you're missing some folks. So I think I'm gonna move you back so you can increase the ships that you have. And I want you to do that in Annapolis. It'll take you 12 days to get there. I want you to stay there. I don't think that the Confederates will come out here to attack our merchant ships. Just in case, I'm going to put them in defensive mode. I'll also do that here. My memory is that by putting ships in this posture, they use less supply. And so, you know, they're not out here trying to like control the waves kind of thing. They're just out here to stay here. And the longer they can stay here, the better. So I just need their supplies to last longer. I will also do that in the Gulf. Unless I need them to attack. You know, again, these guys are not going to catch them. I'm going to put them on the defense. Good. What about you? You are still missing a ship. Fort Pickens. No ships. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's start out west first, and the Pacific Northwest. We've got cavalry, we've got some infantry and artillery, and we've got infantry. So what we can do is we can move them. We have two choices. Well, three. The first is we can have them stay here. But there's really no reason to station these troops here. We should move them. We should use them. They are a fighting force that is much needed elsewhere. So the first choice is to move them across the continent, back east to, let's say, Leavenworth or Sioux City, right? None of these rivers here are navigable by boat. So if we do that, they would just have to march, right? I guess until they got to, let's say, Fort Buford, right? Once they got here, they could navigate down the Mississippi on boats, which make their travel a heck of a lot faster. Or I could move them down the west coast and have them support the push toward West Texas. I think there are plenty of guys here, and if I need more, I will recruit them. So I will move these guys in the Pacific Northwest out to Fort Buford, and I will have them collect there. It'll take them 100 days and 77 days, respectively. But in so doing, I will eventually move them down to St. Louis and have them join up with our armies there to help defend Missouri. Okay, what about the 7th Utah? How long does it take to get there? 77 days as well. That's probably best for these units up here. And then for, there's a Colorado unit here. I want to move you. You know, stay here. Stay here. I want you to stay here and defend because Denver is really the only supply depot out here, right? So if I lose this, it'll be incredibly difficult for me to regain it unless I have a supply train attached to the army unit that's gonna, try and retake it. So I could move you down to Santa Fe and then to support Fort Craig, or I could move you west or east rather to St. Louis. But I think for now I will have you stay put and defend Denver, right? Okay. So I've got these guys here in Sacramento that I can move. I'll definitely move them down to southeastern California. It will take them 60 days. That's 4 turns. This supply unit is moving and will arrive the next turn. I've already got, okay, so this, the 5th U.S. can move from Los Angeles. I'm going to move them down and join up with this column that spawned in under General Carlton. He's got a command rating of 411, which is not bad. Not bad at all. And what am I going to do? I think that I'm going to have you move down. and try and capture this Confederate town of Fort Whipple um, before any Confederate forces get there, because it is defensible. It's a stockade level of 1, and these guys are neutral right now. It's really these forces here that I should be concerned about moving up. But I think the AI will try to move up Fort Craig, up this. What is this river here? Can I see what river this is? I think it's the Colorado. Maybe not. I don't know. What does it say? Doesn't say. Okay. Anyway, I think that they'll move up this river valley and try to take Santa Fe and eventually Denver. And I'm okay with them doing that because Fort Craig is pretty defensible. And then once they get here, they will be pretty strung out. There are no supply depots along this entire river valley. So if they want to do that, and for them to do it successfully, they have to marshal a lot of supplies. And they'll, when they hit Albuquerque, for example, they'll be pretty strung out. And their supply lines will be pretty vulnerable, particularly to our forces that are moving down from California. And they will eventually arrive in Fort Cummings, in New Mexico, and be able to cut any forces up here off, which is great. We are not there yet, though. That, I think, is that is a plan. I don't know if they'll stick to it. That's a plan. Okay, so we've got some guys here that we can move once they're active. Okay, yeah. So this is under Carlton. He's got cavalry. Wow, that's a lot of cav. An infantry unit, and 2 arties, and 1 of these supply guys. Can I just build? No, I can't. Because you're inactive, I cannot just build. Wow, 10 turns. You are staying put. Jesus. Okay. Wait, 10 turns? That's like 5 months. Good God. Okay. I mean, we this is slow going, right? The far west is very slow going. The distances traveled are huge. There's not a lot of folks here. The regions are huge. It's going to take some time. Okay, these guys are still moving up. I think I've already taken care of them. Yes, I have. Looks like there are more forces that are active in Leavenworth. So these are the Rangers that are recruited out here. They can finally move. I will move them to... Well, let me do this. I'm going to just... there we go. Pull you all the way out here. Through to... Let's say... Where is Cleveland? Is this Cleveland? Where's Cleveland? There's Cleveland. Nope, that's Gary. Cleveland. Yeah, that's not... Cleveland, hello. Sandusky. Cleveland, okay. We're going to move you all the way down to Cleveland. And because you're Rangers, right? So it's just horses and y'all are super flexible. Like, it only takes you 27 days to get there. But I'm going to put you on rails. Oh, and get you there in 25 days. Okay, that's a little bit quicker. Okay, that's fine. So I eventually, again, want to get them out to the East Coast, board them on ships, maybe in Annapolis, and then have them raid across the South. Not their intended purpose, but, that is my strategy. Okay, Edwin Sumner is available to move. There is a rail. Good. There is a rail that connects Sioux City to, Burlington, and then down on to St. Louis. So I think that the best thing to do is to move you by rail, right? And I will have you join up with people out. Let me just think about this. You have a rating of 311. You've got 1 infantry regiment under your command. I'm a little concerned about incursions into Kansas up here. Wait, where is Kansas? Yeah, Kansas and Missouri up here, right? And we do have some forces here to defend, but there are not a lot. Maybe I want him in Lexington. And if I do, then I don't want you to move by rail, do I? How long will that take? 26 days? Maybe it's better for you to move by boat. It is. It'll take you 24 days to move down the Mississippi and arrive in Lexington, which I think is what I want. Because you can join up with this force here and lead them. Oh, wow, there's a ton of folks here now. Yeah, okay. Sumner will move down to Lexington. These guys, these cav units, you can be a little more active. Wow, you've already got people here. And Jefferson City. You know, eventually we'll want to move Lyons Force out and capture Jefferson City. Because that's the capital. I don't know if it will hold it, but it's important to be able to connect the upper part of the Mississippi to the lower part and not have it, you know, blocked potentially by a Confederate city. So, do we do that now? Do I have enough people here? I think that if we converge people, we do. Right, 19 days, 12 days. And how long is it take you to get there? 20 days. If you do it by rail, it's 12 days. You know, I do want to move you by rail, but I don't want you to move up. I want you to move this way. Yeah. Because I want you to take control over the rail line here so that we can rail folks in. Or do we take Rolla first? Because Rolla is a supply depot. Let me see. You know, Rolla could be used as a supply depot, as a jumping off point for the Confederates to attack St. Louis. You know, what I think I'll do is I will capture Rolla. Can I separate y'all? Can you destroy things? You can destroy a depot. Good. How long does it take you to get there? 19 days. Huh. Do I have a cav unit? I do. Lyons is cavalry unit. 6 days. Okay, what I'll do is I will detach this cavalry unit to Rolla so that they can capture it and then destroy the depot. And then I will move Lyons' force again to capture Jefferson City. And then I will tell these guys here, form up and join Lyons there. Take rail. Yeah. So they'll march out of Lexington into Warren, Missouri, and then once they arrive in Boone, they can rail in. They can use the rails and join the siege of Jefferson City. And you're cav, so you can move really quickly, so you'll get there in time as well. All right, I mean, that's the plan. We will see if it survives combat. Cairo is slowly building up. You've got some more guys out here. We've got the Illinois Volunteers. Let's move you down to St. Louis. It'll take you 9 days. You know, I think I'm prioritizing St. Louis now as opposed to Cairo because I would like to not lose St. Louis, and I'm a little bit, you know, apprehensive about, you know, Price's army here and whatever's here moving up. I'm less afraid of an army coming after Cairo, particularly because it is behind the Mississippi River, whereas St. Louis is on the other side of the river and not protected by that navigable river. Okay. And I just don't think that the AI has the wherewithal to attack Cairo right now. I might have to eat my words later, but I don't think that they can, they have the brains to do that. Okay, so we've got more ships here. I believe so. This is a armored frigate, and this is a brig. Can you move down these rivers? Because I think that wait, can you? No, there are no navigable rivers here. So even if I wanted to, I can't move you around like here on to Michigan and move you down to Mississippi, can I? I cannot. Okay, cannot be entered. Okay. So I guess I move you out to the Atlantic via the Erie Canal. Let's do that. Let's have you join up in Hampton Road. Cannot reach the destination. Really? Why? Why can't you go? Maybe I separate them out. Can you go? You can. 20 days. Can you go? You cannot. Okay, so I guess you are too big to navigate the Erie Canal. Can you move down this way? You cannot. Okay, so you're staying here in Lake Erie and docked in Detroit. And you'll presumably stay there for the remainder of the game because you cannot move anywhere. Or rather, you can only traverse the Great Lakes. Okay, there is a Michigan Brigade. I think that I want them to go to McClellan, I think. Yeah? How does McClellan look? You see, that's weird. He only upgraded one unit, and he's supposed to be able to upgrade two. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Okay, well, I mean, either way, we have 3 minty fresh U.S. Army units to move, and you'll move and take Parkersburg from the Confederates. And yeah, I think I'll do that. All right, and then I think that I'll combine these guys, right? Because you have some conscripts. Can I check? Okay, yeah. You've got 2 conscript units and a cavalry unit. You have 2 conscripts. I mean, these are volunteers, but they may as well be conscript units. So McClellan will continue to train people up as he stays here. And we are continually funneling militia, volunteers, and conscripts to him so that he can upgrade them. Yeah, let's move you here too. Yeah, damn, you've got a lot of people here. Cool. I don't remember this many people spawning in like this. But the more the merrier. I will not say no to your service. Cool. What else? Or where else? Okay, we've got it. It's here. I cannot move. Okay. Milroy. You've got more people here, which is good. So 177. I will have you hold. Hold there. Chill out. And I can't do anything here. There was a message at the very beginning of the game that says that, something along the lines of like, I'm not being able to build core until I think it's March or April of 62. This is that core button. And so in referencing the chain of command, right, there are armies that can be formed. And then under those armies, there are core. So let's say the army of McDowell here. Later on, when cores are available, he might have maybe 2 or 3 core under him, under his command. So that's how that works. Okay. So I think you stay here in Harper's Ferry. Hopefully Joe Johnston will not attack. McDowell, you will likewise stay. I mean, you have no choice. You cannot move. But you all will stay here and defend Alexandria. We have more forces here under Stone. I think that so you've got Stone's brigade, some more volunteers. I think that I move you to join Milroy. He needs some help. Don't move that way. Move up. Don't move that way. Move this way. Wow, why does that take longer? What's going on? Huh. How about 7 days to move from DC to Anne Arundel? Really? Even on train? Oh, sorry. We did not put them on trains yet. Okay, there we go. And join up. 4 days. 4 days. Okay. Scott's command, no one can move out yet. Y'all, I'll just connect y'all up. You cannot move yet. Stone's command is moving out to the Shenandoah. Y'all are still recruiting. Banks is staying put. We've got a brigade I can move. Yeah, I think that I want more folks in Alexandria. So go on ahead and do that. Oh my gosh, okay, so these guys that spawned in are now movable, are now active. You know, come on down, right? Maybe I actually take you to Harper's Ferry. Yeah, 6 days. Great. You can also move. I will move you to Hamilton's force. Guys in New York, you 3 can move. So I'm gonna 4. You 4 can move. I'm gonna take y'all out, put y'all on trains, and move you to the Shenandoah. Great. Yeah. So we will slowly be building up our forces. Yep. Great. So on this turn, what we ended up doing was we worked. We looked at forces from west to east, right? And I think that sort of like helps me think through things a little, better. The west is a little more forgiving, as I said, but also the choices are a little more manageable. There are less units, and then as we go east, there's just a ton more stuff, a ton more to think about. Anyway, all right, let's close this message. Let's look at what's decisions are available to us. Nothing new here in Department of Treasury. Okay, Department of Interior. We can build more industry, right? And so what does that do? Your Secretary of the Industry has convinced the government to subsidize entrepreneurs to build 5 new ironworks in New England. The premium offered will help them to launch the investment. Once completed, we will receive an additional production of war supplies. And war supplies is this up here. More war supplies, more war supplies, more war supplies. I think that in prior playthroughs, right, I did build more factories. Historically, I think that happened as well. And I built them like in New England, where they would be under very little threat of any incursion by the South. But I did read somewhere, again in the AGEOD forums, that one, they don't pay for themselves, right? This is a lot of money to pour into industry, and 2, we don't need more industry. We have plenty as the Union. And so it's not needed, right? It's not needed. So I won't build them. Okay. Objectives, background. What's next? Background. Recruitment and decisions. Right. So recruitment, I mean, I think, there's something to be said about there's something to be said about continuing to build up our forces here and recruit them. But I think what's most important is to increase our replacements, right? So maybe this is a good time to sort of think about these how this works. So you've got this flag here that you can click to show these values, and then you have this flag you can click to show these values. This is artillery, right? Light artillery, field, heavy, supply trains. This is infantry and cavalry and ships, right? This top number refers to what is missing, what is needed, right? So we need 164 regular infantry. We need 28 light infantry. We need 72 militia. We need 33 cavalry, right? This bottom unit, right? The number outside of the parentheses is how many replacements we have already ordered, that's already available, that will be automatically applied at the end of the turn to this number, right? The number in the parenthesis is the number that we're adding to the 6 manually, right? And what's the ratio, right? Do we want to have 164 in this number, in this bottom number value, or is there some other number to sort of maximize the replacement of units? My memory is that you want to have it at 10% of this number, right? So if it's at 100, you want to have 10 here. If it's 30, which it is, you want to have 3, and that's perfect here. That's perfect. Again, a lot of this is automated, right? But I often will come here and look because sometimes it doesn't work well, right? Like this, for example, it is 164. 10% of that is not 6; it is 16. So I'm going to add 10, right? And as you can see, the cost to add is 16 in money. Sorry, 19 in money, 10 in conscripts, and 2 in war supplies. So we're going to add 10, right? And that has brought our conscripts down to 41 and money down to 1800. We're going to look across here. Okay, so 72, 10% of that is 7. We have plenty already geared up. 33, 10% of that is 3. That's perfect. And no one else needs help. What about artillery? Artillery, yes. So there's 36 that we need for light artillery. There's currently 2. We're going to add 1. There's 53 needed for field artillery. We have 0. We're going to add 5 to make them more efficient, right? Okay, so there's 28 in need for supplies. There's already 7. We have plenty here. So that's how that works. Once we have taken care of these replacements, then I think we can turn to recruitment again. So we're not getting ahead of ourselves and recruiting more people than we can manage with our replacements, right? So another ranger unit is available. I'm going to recruit him out in Leavenworth. And again, once he's available, I'm going to move him out east. What else? Okay. So there's no specialty unit, like there's no more rangers I can recruit. Oh, there are more Zouaves. That's good. There's more sharpshooters. Tons of arty, tons of marines, and tons of infantry and ships. These are already redded out because I do not have enough conscripts. Right, these brigades are relatively big in size. They've got 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 elements in them, regiments. Right, so this infantry brigade from Connecticut, rather, you can see it has 3 infantry regiments, 1 battery, and 1 cavalry regiment. That's a lot of troops. It requires 41 conscripts. I do not have that right now. So what I think I'll do, right, and this is how I think about it, right? I want to maximize things, unless like we're in crisis, right? There are plenty of folks who are already queued up to train with McClellan, right? And as they train with McClellan, I will pull them, once they are trained, to the theaters where they're needed. And until that queue goes down a little more, I want to recruit forces that do not require McClellan's training trait, right? So again, troops that are already regular U.S. infantry. And one of those, these big brigades, right? They're great, but they're big, and most of them have conscripts, right? And again, I don't want to be recruiting them right now because I would need to send them McClellan. I mean, I don't need to send them to McClellan. It would be ideal, right? But I don't need to. What I will do instead is to find, units like this, right? In Kentucky and Illinois who are just infantry already and are trained up as infantry. I think that, maybe we do that in Illinois. My intention, my thinking at the start of this was to train up more Zouaves, right? Where are the Zouaves? Let's go to Midwest. Or sorry, Mid-Atlantic. Yeah, here are the Zouaves, right? From Pennsylvania and New York, because they are line infantry, right? They have a different marker. They're Zouave, but they are line infantry, right? So they don't need training, and they're only one unit, right? They're only one regiment per, so it makes it a little more manageable to conscript them. But I saw those other infantry units from Illinois and Kentucky, and I think that I'll recruit them instead because I can then just send them immediately down to Cairo or St. Louis if needed. Where is it? Northwest? Yes. Infantry from Illinois. Infantry, nope, not from Iowa. Yeah. I also saw there was a Kentucky, wasn't there? Southeast? Yeah, Kentucky. Hey, hi. I mean, Kentucky right now is neutral. Oh yeah, you see. So they are neutral, which means I cannot recruit these guys yet. Yeah. There's nowhere that I can build these guys because Kentucky is neutral. And Lincoln has decided to respect that neutrality. So I will build the guys in Illinois. Where are they? Old Northwest, Illinois. I can build 6 of them. Oh yeah, I can, wow, recruit them directly in Cairo. Great, so that's 1. And I can only build 1 because that required 20 conscripts. And I'm out. Who knew that my bottleneck at this point of the war would be the number of conscripts I could recruit? Interesting. Yeah, and there's nothing I can do to increase the number of conscripts I have. Changes from income, replacements, events. Yeah, nothing I can do. I think that's it. All my movements order are in place, and yeah, these guys are chilling. These are going back. Yeah, I think naval's taken care of. All of my army units are taken care of. Yeah, you're staying there. Okay. I'll stop recording for now, and then once we start recording again, I will end the turn and start anew. Right? Okay, let's do that.